Yo, what's up, my peeps? It's Terry the Electrician here, and I'm in my home studio today, putting in there work, like you already know. So today, I want to talk about the secret to success in business and in life. And is there such a thing? Now, my favorite motivational speaker, Les Brown, says, there is no secret to success. There's a system to success. Terry the Electrician says, the secret to success is to first get crystal clear on your definition of success, and then do everything in your power to put a system in place to help you achieve that success. So what's the system we're talking about? Well, let's break that down. The system I'm talking about is something I call the PCE method. That's prepare, commit, execute, right? What this does is allow you to operate at the highest level in every aspect of life. And it's so simple that it's often overlooked. Ask me how I know. We'll get to that. Recently, some events have happened that showed this system in action and the results, as well as what happens when the system is not completely put into play. All right. Now, I recently attended an event that was amazing. Okay. It was like 3, 4, 5 different entities came together and put this thing on, and they blew it out the park, or knocked it out the park, blew it out the water, whatever those sayings are. They did the damn thing. Okay. They really showed up and showed out. Right. And that is, from my perspective, the PCE method, when it's properly executed or properly put into play, working just like it's supposed to. Right. Now, did they not have any snags? Did nothing? Of course they did. But again, when you got this, when you're operating in this framework, it makes things move like they're supposed to. Okay. If you get stuck, it gets you unstuck. Now, of course, this PCE method framework that is something that I've culminated through years. Matter of fact, 35 years of life and experience. All right. But like I said, these recent events have opened my eyes clearly to these concepts, and when they are put into play, how well they work, and when they're not put into play, how things don't go as planned or don't turn out so good. Okay. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I embarked on an endeavor where I made a commitment before I was completely prepared. Right? Before I was sure that I had the skill set, the tool set, and the mindset to perform the task at hand. I thought I was ready, and it turns out I wasn't quite ready. Okay. And as a result, I had to step away from it. But these are lessons we learn in life. Okay. These are lessons we learn in life. So let's look at this PCE method and let's break this thing down. Okay. So like I said, this is a culmination of the last 35 years of life and experience for me, which breaks down to 23 years in business, 32 years of marriage, and 35 years in my trade. Okay. Which, by the way, I was trained in the United States Air Force. And in the military, one of the first things I was taught was the 6 Ps. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Sometimes it's easy to forget that, right? So let's look at this. Let's break this down. The preparation phase is where you actually form your strategy, because this is where you assess your skill set, gather intel, and take inventory of your tool set. Once that's done, you can move confidently to the next phase. So let's look at this. What's this breakdown of these? Number one, assessing your skill set. This is where you determine whether or not you got the necessary skills to handle the job, point blank, period. And in my prior example, I didn't really determine if I had all of the necessary skills to handle that job. I knew I had some. I thought I had most, but it turns out that I really didn't do this assessment. I did not do this assessment prior to making that commitment, okay? And, I'm man enough to admit it, because there's no shame in admitting when you did not do something correctly. The shame is not making the correction, right? So, determine whether or not you have the necessary skills to handle the job. The next phase is to gather your intel. This is what we call pre-game, due diligence. There's different names for it, but basically this is where you seek out as much detailed information on the subject or project as you can possibly get, right? Third is inventory your tool set. Now, this is where you got to make sure you got the necessary tools or have access to the proper tools to actually get the job done. So now, let's take this preparation phase and let's give it a real world example. I get a phone call from a potential customer. They need a ceiling fan or a light fixture hung. Let's say a ceiling fan, right? Without even thinking, I know that I can hang a ceiling fan, okay? So the skill set assessment is instantaneous because I've done it 1,000 times, can do it in my sleep, right? No problem, check, that's done. Now I gather the intel. Well, how high is the ceiling that you want to hang the ceiling fan? Standard ceiling height in a house is 9 to 10 feet, okay? And we're just gonna use a house for, just to keep it simple. So standard ceiling height in a house is somewhere between 9 and 10 feet. All right. If it's a standard ceiling height, then there's one price. I got a 5-foot ladder in the back of the truck, drive out, hang the fan, done. Boom, everybody's good, right? But let's say it's a 2-story foyer or a 20-foot ceiling where they want to hang this fan. And this comes to the forefront because I have a job just like that on the books as we speak. So let's say it's a 2-story foyer or a 20-foot ceiling. Now, I need a 16-foot ladder to reach up there to hang this fan, okay? So I don't personally have a 16-foot ladder because rarely do I have to use one. But guess what? I have access to a 16-foot ladder. I have 2 options. I can go to Home Depot and rent one, or I can send one of my subs out to do the job who has a 16-foot ladder that he can put on top of his van and go do the job, right? So that's the inventory phase. That's the inventory process. So there you go. I've assessed my skill set. I know I can hang a ceiling fan. I gather my intel. If it's a standard ceiling height, I can put the ladder. I can put the ladder in my truck, go out, hang the fan. If it's a higher, if it's a 20-foot ceiling, then I know that I need to send my sub or I need to rent a ladder from Home Depot. Either way, I can still get the job done. Now I can proceed, or you can proceed with a certain level of certainty because competence breeds confidence. And the competence comes from knowing that I can do the job and that I got the right tools to do the job and I know the lay of the land, right? So let's move to the next phase. So now this is talking about commitment. What is commitment? Making a commitment generally means promising to do something or dedicating yourself to a person or a cause, right? When you commit it, you're in it for the long haul, right? And when it comes to making a commitment, there are three underlying principles: integrity, intention, and insight, right? It also requires a certain level of self-discipline and a certain mindset to stay on course, even when things don't go as planned. And we all know shit happens and things don't always go as planned. So expect the unexpected, right? So what's this thing? Integrity. Simple. Quality of being honest with yourself and everybody involved, having strong moral principles, and keeping your word, right? What is intention? Intention, the goal or purpose behind a specific action or set of actions, something you want or plan to do. Now, this is key also, because what is the goal that you seek or the purpose that you want to fulfill when you make the commitment? See, I know for a fact that I don't always automatically think of that. So this process here requires a certain level of critical thinking, right? Especially when we get to number 3, insight. And that's being able, excuse me, that's being able to clearly understand the people and the situation involved. Whoo, let me tell you, if that might, they're all equally important, but that one might carry just a little bit more weight than the other two. If you don't clearly understand the people or the situation, you just don't know what you're really committing to, right? And I found that to be the case in this recent incident. But let's move forward. So, preparation, commitment, right? So now, if all hearts and minds are clear, it's time to get busy and execute, 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 which is what's written on my shirt. That's why I'm pointing to it. So now let's talk about execution. Execution is the implementation of the strategic plan in an effort to achieve the clearly defined goal or outcome, right? So in the preparation phase, you assess your skills, you gather your intel, and inventory your tools, right? You determine that you had all those things in place. Now, this allows you to develop a strategic plan of action, like how are you actually going to get this thing done now, right? So it gave you the confidence to move to phase 2 and commit. So you made a commitment to the cause based on your integrity, your intentions, and your insightfulness, and your well thought out plan. And now it's time to suit up and boot up and employ the tactics you've learned from training, implementation, and experience. A lot of times from years of training, implementation, and experience. In my case, 35 years, right? Now, this is not always the case, right? Some people are brand new coming into this thing that we call entrepreneurship, right? Where you just starting your business and you trying to figure all this stuff out. But let me tell you, if you employ this framework, you definitely will have a smoother road ahead of you than if you don't. Promise you, it will make it 10 times smoother, 100 times smoother if you don't have something like this to put in place, okay? So this is where the rubber meets the road, and it's time to put in that work. This is also where your mindset, your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set all come together to determine your outcome, right? Everything is in play, right? Everything is in motion. It's like with the event that I went to. I saw all these things in motion, all these people over here doing this thing, these people over here doing this thing, the person that organized it, making sure everything is running as smoothly as it possibly can, the people that were involved in the different aspects of the event or the training, the food, just everything just all coming together, right? And it was a beautiful event. One of the most beautiful and pleasant endeavors I've been a part of in a long time. And everybody that I talked to, everybody that I know who was involved, everybody says pretty much the same thing. It was simply amazing. And this is what really sparked this in my mind, because these things all have been on my mind, but this is what really sparked me to go ahead and just codify this framework and just put it out there, right? Because this is the foundation that I'm laying everything on from this point forward. Like, this is how I am going to proceed from this point forward with everything. Preparation, commitment, then execution. Not commitment before preparation and then end up not being able to execute properly, right? So when you got all these things in place, this is why any true craftsman is always willing to put his or her reputation on the line, because they're fully prepared, 100% committed, ready, willing, and able to perform at the highest standard. So at the end of the day, I agree with Les Brown when he says there's no secret to success. There's a system to success. For me, that system is the PCE method. Now, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to take this framework, use it, build your business that you truly desire, so you can create the lifestyle that you and your family truly deserve. I would love nothing more than to see you achieve a level of success that just truly just actually blows your mind. Nothing would make me happier. So at this point, here's what I want you to do, right? If you found value in anything that I've said in this video, hit the like button and share it with somebody else, right? And if you have not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, so the next time I drop one of these videos, you get notified, right? And then you can come on here and we can chop it up again on another subject or another topic. But at the end of the day, my friend, all I aim to do is to serve at the highest level possible. I'm going to give you another quote. Zig Ziglar said that you can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. I'm here to help. With that being said, we'll see you in the next one. Deuces.